sorry about that, but I did write these all today, and I did have to go to the store, and I did drop things off, and I did go to another store, buy my mom's Valentines and my brother's. So yeah, I'm sorry it's late, and I'm sorry I couldn't do all. However, I do want to do an isekai one because somebody like asked for it, and I do like. He is so underrated. He is the whole menu. He is more bunny. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. It was Valentine's Day and you were excited. Your best friend Yachi had been avoiding you all day, and though you were sad about it, you didn't want it to ruin your day, so you brushed it off. However, when the person you were excited about, your crush, Shoyo Hinata, started doing the same in second period, you got pretty anxious, thinking about the things like, why is he avoiding you? Did he not want to see you today? Maybe he was upset and didn't feel like talking to anyone? Thoughts like this stirred until the end of the day. You walked out of the school building in front of the gym. You were surprised to not see Shoyo there. He was usually the first one, waiting outside because he did not have a key, but the first one. He loves volleyball, so why was he not there? Your thoughts drifted off again when you heard Sugawara behind you, the mom of the group. Hey, Ryan, he greeted. You did the same, but with a tired expression. Unfortunately for you, Sugawara noticed and asked what was up. It's nothing, he said in a shaky voice. Sugawara stopped opening the gym and crossed his arms. It's not nothing, Ryan, if you don't tell me. Hey, Wyatt, the door's open already, Yoshinoya said, jumping into the air with enthusiasm at its highest. Asahi, or Jesus as you like to call him, was right behind the petite boy, offering a soft smile. You again returned the smile and motioned for Sugawara to continue opening the doors, but Sugawara stood his ground. He could be like this sometimes, when he was determined or when he was extremely fed up. You couldn't differ the two as it was a rare occurrence, so you spoke in fear of him telling the rest of the group was surrounding. You looked up from the ground beneath your feet and eyed the group of boys, but none of them showed the face you wanted to see. Not that you didn't like any of the other boys, just that it was hard to acknowledge them when you were nervous. You had brought the chocolates for Hinata, and now he was nowhere to be found. Neither was your best friend. Once you saw Kageyama approaching without Hinata no less, you felt tears start to build up in your eyes. The rest of the volleyball team were there, only exception Hinata and Yachi. Again, Sugawara spoke, tapping his feet. Ryan, I'll count to 3. You gulped, but you didn't make eye contact. What's going on? Daichi asked Sugawara, who was still counting. Something's bothering Ryan. Look at them, they're about to cry, and they won't tell me what's wrong. 1. He replied, tapping on his foot while leaning on the other for support. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. Ryan, what's wrong? Daichi asked, looking in your direction. Nothing, he spat. 2. Sugawara continued. Look, it's nothing, When the sound of laughter filled your ears, you swiftly looked up. Even though tears were daring to come out, what you saw had you shocked on a whole other level. Your best friend and your crush were both giggling at one another while walking side by side. Thank God they weren't hand in hand because you might have just broke down right then and there. Sho, you spoke, your voice cracking all over. Huh? Oh, Ryan, he said, sweat dropping from his forehead. You were all supposed to be in the gym by now. What's wrong? Yachi asked, her voice trembling as if she had just gotten caught. Well, Ryan here insists nothing is wrong, and just like that, Sugawara was cut off once again. No, nothing's wrong. Sugawara just misunderstood something. You shed a bright, happy, closed eye but fake smile. Oh, okay. Yachi continued walking. Oh, Hinata, you called. He turned to you with question. Yes, Ryan? I just wanted to let you know that I got you chocolates for today. You gulped back the urge to cry and stretched the box of candy in front of him. He looked shocked, and Yachi seemed to be as well. You were the shy type, might as well have been Fluttershy's doppelganger. It did catch everyone off guard, Sugawara especially. He felt a pit in his stomach as his heart sank with the realization. Oh, thanks. He looked behind you, most likely at Yachi. He probably even took the box out of pity. You knew you wouldn't be able to keep up with this state much longer, so you decided you would just go home for the rest of this regretful day. I'll be going home now, you said, walking off, but before you could, you felt a tug on your arm. It was Yachi, a poster in hand. In red handwriting, it read, Will you be my Valentine? Valentine-colored hearts decorated the bottom, and an arrow pointed to the side. You followed the arrow, and when your eyes finally landed on the thing it was pointing at, your eyes widened. So? Yachi exclaimed with a bright smile. Your knees buckled and you fell to the floor in shame. How could you think of it any different? You really thought that your best friend since childhood would do something so cruel to you, knowing how deep your feelings were. How could he be so dumb? You questioned yourself, trying to find the right answer, when you felt a hand cup your cheek and soft lips pressed against yours. Show? Kenma Kozume, XOXO. Yep, today's the day, you told yourself while opening your shoe locker. You switched your shoes as quickly as you could, hoping a certain setter was not on a fast track today. You thanked the Lord so you found the surrounding lockers of his empty. You walked over to said boy's locker and quietly opened it. Though you did want to be fast, you set the box down with a handwritten note and shut it just as fast. You speed walked back to your locker with a shaky feeling in your mind. Your heart was bouncing up and down inside your chest as you paced back and forth in your classroom. First period was about to start and kids were gathering outside the door while you were still inside. The teacher walked in with a questioning look on his face. Why in? Why are you not with the other students? Sorry, I just needed some place to breathe, you admitted. Oh yes, today is Valentine's Day, right? No wonder everyone is so wild with the jitters. He stopped smiling at the floor, then looked back at you with a weird frown. I didn't think you would be giving anyone chocolates though. You covered your face with your hand and spoke. It's not like me to do something like this, I know, but you couldn't help it? He asked, placing a comforting hand on your shoulder. Well, it can be tough because teenagers are cruel, but if you just have faith and keep trying, I assure you, you'll get through to them. His encouraging words remained in your mind the entire period. You were focused on your thoughts, that you didn't notice a pair of eyes on you. You couldn't feel them throughout the period, but once the bell rang shoving you out of your thoughts, you felt them. There were burning souls in the back of your head. You turned around to glare at the person who was staring at you intently, but there was no one. No one was looking at you. You could have sworn you turned fast enough. The question of how roamed through your mind. Class dismissed. It took a while, but eventually you stood up and grabbed your bag for next period. Wait, when? You heard. You turned around to face your kind teacher. Oh, Mr. Bean, you questioned with a soft smile. I'm sure he'll love whatever you give him, and if he doesn't, well, then that's his loss, he said. He then turned to continue wiping down the whiteboard. Right, you beamed. Mr. Bean is so nice. He's like a father, but at school. Well, since Dad and him are best friends, can I really blame him? You thought, chuckling to yourself. By the time second period rolled around, you were already in your seat ready to start working, the bad thoughts out of your head and good, kind ones to replace them. The rest of the day went on like this, though you could still feel the burning that was going on behind you. However, every time you turned to look, no one seemed to be staring at you. Up until lunch, you had put up with this. You were getting irritated and just past your limit when the bell rang for lunch. They got lucky, you thought, glaring at the whiteboard. You dusted yourself off and walked out of the classroom. You were about to turn a corner into one of your friend's classrooms when you heard a faint whisper. Kozume? The voice beckoned. You were curious as to what was going on and walked around. Your friend wasn't anywhere in the classroom, so you had no place to be there. You also had no right to be listening on what looked to be a confession. But this was Kozume we were talking about. Kenma Kozume, your crush, and you weren't about to let this opportunity go to waste. Whoever was confessing was going to have to back up, and though you weren't even confident in him returning your feelings, the fact that God placed you here at this time must have been a sign. You peeped your head inside the classroom to see an unknown girl. She was really short, most likely a first year, so that was good news. Maybe Kenma didn't like first years. They were a year younger, so it wouldn't work, right? You saw Kenma slip his hands into his pants and bend down. He's apologizing. Does that mean he turned her away? You thought. Oh, how you wish you could hear what they were saying. Stalking people isn't a good look on you, you know. You spun around in fear to see your best friend standing behind you. You waved your hand in the air. No, it's not what it looks like. They said, rocking back and forth. So you're not watching that first year confess to Kozume-kun? They asked with a sly grin. Right. You whispered, looking down in shame. Not that you had been spying on them, but because you had been caught spying on them. You huffed, and you were about to walk away with your friend when you felt those same eyes piercing your head. You were fed up with them. You turned around with your most angry expression and were about to rage over how they needed to stop staring at you when you met the eyes of Nekoma Junior High's setter. Kozume-kun, you asked, wincing a little. That's my name. He's the one that's been staring at me this entire time? You were shocked. Why was Kenma, your crush, trying to kill you with his eyes? Did you watch what happened? He asked. You turned to your friend who had somehow dissolved into thin air. Thanks for nothing. You rolled your eyes at their sudden disappearance. How could they leave you in a time of need? Owen, he called. You turned back to see Kenma's face. You huffed out a small yes and began to walk away when he asked another question. Did you leave the chocolates in my locker? You almost cringed at the sudden thought of him reading your stupid note. No, what makes you think that? You bit your lip at the obvious lie. Because you wrote XOXO, and nobody I know does that besides you, he bluntly stated. At least he doesn't sound angry, you thought, trying to lighten your mood. Many people do it, it's common, you retorted, still keeping your back turned. You could hear footsteps approach your backside and slip a piece of paper in front of you. Is it common to draw your signature flower as the O as well? You stared at the flower you had drawn on the note the night before and cursed at yourself for being so irresponsible. You sighed and drooped your shoulders. Fine, you caught me. How did you even know that was my signature flower though? He walked around and patted your soft head. He then turned to walk away, leaving you with the words, "Because I like you," to haunt you for the rest of your day. Yay, okay, we finished. I'm sorry that this is coming out super late. Oh my god, it's like 7:18 right now, the clock just turned. But I hope you enjoyed. My voice is like this. Oh my god, I got a mug today and I'm going to be using it so much for coffee because I'm a coffeeholic. Okay, bye loves!